All right, today we're going to tackle one of the biggest questions out there, but we're going to look at it through a completely new lens. We're about to unpack a pretty fascinating concept of life and death, one that might just challenge everything you thought you knew. So let's just dive right in.
I mean, it's the ultimate question, isn't it? It's something people have wondered about since, well, forever. What actually happens when our time is up?
The usual answer is pretty cut and dry. Our heart stops beating, our brain goes quiet, and the body just shuts down. We tend to see it as a final, absolute endpoint, the end of the story.
But what if that's not the whole story? Our source material makes a pretty bold claim right from the get-go that what we call life and death is just a false appearance. The argument is that we're making a huge mistake. We're confusing the end of our physical body with the end of life itself.
So how do we even start to wrap our minds around that? Well, the first step, according to this philosophy, is to question the one thing we trust the most, our own perception of reality.
To explain this, the author uses this really powerful analogy. Just think about a mushroom that sprouts in the morning and is gone by evening. From its point of view, the whole idea of night or the moon cycling through its phases, well, it just doesn't exist. Its entire reality is just a single day.
Let's take another example that's maybe a little closer to home. A summer cicada. It's born in the spring, and it dies before the summer's over. It knows warmth, it knows sunlight, it knows green leaves. But the idea of leaves falling in autumn or the freezing cold of winter, it has absolutely no concept of it. Its entire life happens in just 2 seasons.
So really think about this for a second. If you could have a conversation with that cicada and it swore to you with total conviction that the world has no such thing as winter, you wouldn't believe it, would you? You'd know it was speaking from a really limited perspective.
And here's a great way to visualize that problem. On one side, you've got the cicada's truth, a world that's only spring and summer. And from its perspective, that's totally valid. But then you have the fuller reality on the other side. You see, the cicada isn't exactly wrong, its view is just incomplete.
And this is really the heart of it. The source turns this whole idea right back on us. We can't see the past before we were born, and we have no idea what the future holds after we die. So when we state as a fact that life is finite, how are we any different from that cicada insisting there's no such thing as winter?
Okay, so once we've opened our minds to the idea that our perception might be limited, the source introduces a completely new way of thinking. It's a total paradigm shift, away from seeing life as one single event to seeing it as something else entirely.
So, if our view is limited, what's the bigger picture? Well, here it is. Life itself doesn't actually have a beginning or an end. It's a continuous, never-ending process of transformation. And our physical bodies? They're just temporary vehicles, kind of like a car, that we use for one part of a much longer journey.
So if life is really all about transformation, then what we think of as life and death must mean something totally different. This framework redefines them as 3 distinct paths, or directions, of that transformation.
This chart does a great job of laying out these new definitions. So, what we call death here isn't an end, it's a transformation, but a downward one, into a lower state of being. Then you have this middle category, half dead, half alive. That's basically stagnation. You're stuck in a loop, just coming back to the same level over and over. And then there's true life, with a capital L. And that is an upward evolution, a transformation into a higher plane of existence.
Now, I know this can all sound very abstract, very philosophical, but the source text brings this right back home, making it super personal. It says this isn't just some random process happening to us, it's all about choice.
And this is the ultimate takeaway. Whether your next transformation is downward into death, or you're stuck in that half-alive state, or you're moving upward into true life, that direction isn't decided for you. It's a direct result of the choices you're making right here and right now.
Just look around you. According to this view, you can actually see these 3 paths playing out all the time. Some people, through their actions, are clearly on a downward track. Others seem to be just wandering, kind of lost, caught in that stagnant loop. But then there are some, the text suggests, who are consciously walking that path of evolution towards a new, higher life.
And so we're left with this final, really sharp question. It's not about if your life will transform, but how. It's asking you to look at your own life, your own choices, and seriously consider which direction are you walking.